When I was a kid, my friends and I loved to have sleepovers in my backyard, surrounded by the vast expanse of woods. One night, in the middle of a thrilling game of manhunt, something strange happened that would haunt us forever. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, we huddled inside our tents, ready to continue our adventures in the dark. The game began, and we dispersed, our laughter echoing through the trees like mischievous woodland spirits. I decided to hide under the trampoline, eager to outsmart my pursuers. The thrill of the game, the soft rustling of leaves, and the faint glimmer of the stars above made the atmosphere both exhilarating and eerie. In the darkness, I waited, my heart pounding in anticipation of my moment to make a dash for the back door, our home base. The night enveloped us like a shroud, and a sense of adventure mixed with fear kept our senses heightened. It was a moonless night, but the backyard lights cast a comforting glow. I held my breath, trying to blend into the shadows. But then, I heard an unusual sound near the trash bins. Curious, I peered around the corner, only to spot a tall figure dressed in dark clothes. Panic swept through me, and I ran back to my friends, calling off the game. I alerted my dad about the stranger, and he joined us in the search. We combed the area, flashlights in hand, but found nothing. Yet the unsettling feeling remained, casting a shadow over our innocent fun. After a while, we decided to sleep inside the house, but curiosity got the better of us. Hours later, we sneaked back outside, hoping the intruder was long gone. We felt like rebellious explorers, venturing into the unknown. As we lay in our sleeping bags, the night seemed to hold its breath. I couldn't help but listen for the slightest rustle in the woods, the tiniest indication that someone might be lurking. My friends were restless too, the crickets providing the only soundtrack to our unease. Suddenly, I heard a sound, almost like footsteps on the grass. My heart skipped a beat, and I sat up, straining my ears. There it was again, the soft crunch of grass underfoot. I looked up to see a stranger's face peering inside our tent. I let out a scream, waking everyone, and the man quickly retreated into the darkness. My friends gathered around me, their eyes wide with fear and concern. It was a terrifying encounter that left us forever wary of our once beloved backyard. In the end, we decided it was best to stay inside for the rest of the night. We alerted my parents, and the police were informed about the incident. Though they searched the area, the mysterious man remained elusive, leaving us with a lingering sense of vulnerability. From that night on, we never felt the same about our backyard adventures. The woods that had once been a source of excitement now held a hint of trepidation. Our sleepovers lost their carefree innocence, forever haunted by the memory of that shadowy figure in the whispering woods. It was supposed to be a fun sleepover at my friend M's house in the woods, but things took a dark turn. We encountered a strange man who emitted an overwhelming stench that made us nauseous. As we walked back to the house, he followed us, getting closer and closer, until we had to run for our lives. M's house was nestled deep within the woods, creating an aura of enchantment and mystery. The dense foliage provided a natural barrier from the outside world, making it feel like our own secret sanctuary. We were eager to explore and immerse ourselves in the magic of the forest. The evening started off wonderfully as we roamed the woods, the setting sun casting ethereal hues through the trees. M's house was a charming cabin with a rustic feel, perfectly complementing the surrounding wilderness. As darkness descended, we decided to head back to the house. The shadows grew longer, and the woods seemed to come alive with the symphony of crickets and night creatures. But as we walked, a foul smell filled the air, overpowering the sweet scent of the forest. At first, we weren't alarmed, thinking it might be some decaying animal or trash nearby. However, the smell intensified, becoming almost unbearable. We couldn't locate the source, and the unease began to creep into our hearts. Nervously glancing over our shoulders, we noticed a figure in the distance, obscured by the darkness. The smell seemed to emanate from him, engulfing the air around us like a toxic cloud. Fear gnawed at our minds, and we quickened our pace, hoping to lose him. But the man continued to follow, his heavy steps echoing our own. He seemed determined to get closer, closing the gap with each passing moment. Panic swept through us, and we ran, our hearts pounding in our chests. Back at the house, we couldn't shake off the unease. Late at night, we heard footsteps outside, and I peered out to see the same man lurking in the shadows. He disappeared, but the smell lingered, haunting us like a malevolent specter. We were afraid to sleep, not knowing what his intentions were. We huddled together, seeking solace in each other's presence, but the air seemed heavy with fear and uncertainty. The once idyllic sleepover had turned into a nightmarish ordeal. As the first light of dawn painted the sky, we mustered the courage to venture outside, hoping the stranger was gone. Our anxiety heightened with every creak of the floorboards, fearing his return. But the woods remained silent, giving no hint of the enigmatic intruder. With relief, we decided to leave M's house earlier than planned, eager to escape the lingering terror that clung to the air. The events of that night were etched in our minds, and we couldn't shake off the fear and paranoia that lingered long after we returned home. We never discovered the identity of the man or the cause of the haunting stench. To this day, the memory of that fateful sleepover serves as a reminder that even in the safety of familiar settings, dangers can lurk in unexpected places. I met this guy named Sebastian at work, and he seemed charming at first. But during a sleepover at his family's condo, I discovered a darker side to him that made the experience truly unforgettable. His family's condo was nestled in a high-rise building overlooking the city below. The evening started off innocently enough. Sebastian's sister Tyler and a few other colleagues joined us for a night of games, laughter, and bonding. The condo was spacious and elegantly furnished, creating an inviting atmosphere for the gathering. As the night progressed, we decided to venture out to a nearby bar, excited for a change of scenery. Sebastian, usually composed, started drinking excessively, downing shots as if trying to drown his inner demons. His behavior became increasingly erratic, and we grew concerned. He became aggressive, ruining our night out and alienating everyone around him. It was as if a different person had taken over his body, leaving us bewildered and unsure of how to handle the situation. Despite our attempts to calm him down, he seemed uncontrollable. Back at the condo, things didn't improve. Sebastian's mood swung like a pendulum, and his sister seemed detached from the situation. Tyler and I decided to go out again to meet some girls, hoping to salvage the night. But when we returned, Sebastian's mood had shifted yet again. We heard him outside our room, talking and laughing manically to himself. His behavior was unnerving, like a scene from a horror movie. Frightened, we decided to lock ourselves inside our room, hoping that the night would pass without any further incidents. As we lay in our sleeping bags, the condo seemed to take on an eerie stillness. The laughter and chatter from earlier were replaced by an unsettling silence. My mind couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. We whispered nervously, trying not to draw attention to ourselves. The minutes felt like hours as we waited for the footsteps to fade away. Eventually, the shuffling ceased, but the fear lingered. The next morning, we cautiously emerged from our room, unsure of what to expect. Sebastian was sitting in the living room, looking disheveled and exhausted. He confronted us, blaming us for his troubles and showing signs of being mentally unstable. Feeling unsafe and uneasy, Tyler and I decided to pack our bags and leave immediately, cutting short our trip. We couldn't comprehend the events of the night or the drastic change in Sebastian's behavior. As we stepped out of the condo, a sense of relief washed over us. We vowed never to return to that place, realizing that the charming person we thought we knew was merely a facade, hiding something much darker. the memory of that unsettling sleepover stayed with us, leaving us cautious about the people we befriend. Sometimes the most charming faces can hide the deepest secrets, and it's essential to stay vigilant and prioritize our safety above all else. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed today's scary stories, consider subscribing and dropping a like on the video. If you have any ideas for what stories you would want to hear next, feel free to drop a comment below. Stay sleepless.